kind of going with that, obviously we know that you're an advocate of sucrose, and we'll talk about the different types, but you're talking about fruit. I guess for the listeners, what types of fruits do you recommend, and which ones do you think, I guess, could hurt us versus help us? Because I know one of your biggest things is everyone out there is looking at, what is good for us. But kind of your philosophy, and I don't want to speak for you, but it's almost like what actually can hurt us. So maybe talking about some of the fruits that you think are beneficial and why in regards to sucrose, but also some of the fruits that could actually be not beneficial for us.
There are almost all of the sweet fruits are on balance better than the alternative of eating bread and pasta and cereals and such. But among the sweet fruits, there are some factors that make a choice possible. For example, bananas, unless they're ripened to the point that they're sort of a translucent amber mush, the average way people eat bananas is almost all starch with enough sugar to make them pleasant tasting. But the high starch content is not an ideal food, not only because it has a great tendency to stimulate insulin, but also because when you don't eat it with a lot of fat, the starch grains actually can get into your bloodstream, and large starch grains are often bigger than red blood cells, so they clog your small arterioles and cause chronic tissue injury. Gerhard Folkheimer was the person who did that, and some of his articles with very nice photographs, photographs of plugged arteries and of the starch grains actually in process of being absorbed into the bloodstream and lymph system are on the internet. Besides the starch problem with some fruits such as bananas, you have the allergy problem, and I think that's partly because of the industrialization of banana farming, use of a lot of chemicals, and just overuse of the soil stresses the plants. And you've heard of the latex allergy, probably corresponding to the banana allergy. Both of those, the rubber trees and the banana plants, are both highly industrialized, stressed crops. And I think that it's the defensive stress substances that the plants evolved to kill insects that were attacking them. Those highly cropped species produce this insecticidal enzyme, which happens to be highly allergenic to humans. And so even apples, some brands of apples have quite a high allergen content. And cooking many of the allergenic fruits makes them safer to eat. And the same with the starches. Very well cooked starchy fruits are much safer than the raw fruits. And a third factor in fruits to watch out for is the serotonin content. And bananas, again, excel in their high serotonin content, which has, before people were aware of it, they were diagnosing intestinal tumors when they found high serotonin content in the urine, because some tumors produce excess serotonin. And if you eat bananas or prunes and plums, kiwis, several types of fruit are high in serotonin, so that's just one factor to be aware of. But starch and allergens are probably generally more important. And pretty much that leaves some things like watermelons and grapes and citrus fruits, oranges in particular.
Now, would you put mangoes in the allergy category and the pineapples in the banana serotonin category?
Yeah, pineapples are known to have a fairly high amount of tryptophan that contribute to the serotonin.
Okay.
And mangoes, I'm not sure, they're in the same family as poison oak. And in the tropics, after I had enjoyed about a kilogram of mangoes, some people said, "Oh, didn't you know about mango sickness?" And it's well known in the tropics, but I think it's partly that they are sort of a fibrous fruit, and partly if the fiber isn't handled by the right bacteria, it can cause toxin production in the intestine. My next newsletter is going to be relating to the issue of fiber, soluble fiber, or any carbohydrate that isn't sugar can potentially feed bacteria that produce toxins and cause systemic stress.